Hey, everybody. Glad you made it, man. Good to see a lot of people here that we haven't seen in a while and all the ones that we regularly interact with. We did this webinar on very short notice. We got a special guest that you don't normally see on our webinars, and I think you know who he is. And he's the guy that builds all this great software. And with that, I will turn it over to him and let him I don't want to steal any of his thunder. So here you go, guys.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Boy, that's crazy. All right. All right. So here we are. I already kind of amped people up about the release of a version of OTP, Organic Traffic Platform, called Phantom. And this thing is beyond crazy. My beta testers swore up and down they must be misunderstanding the software whenever I turned it loose to them, because it was just doing too much too fast. Now, we already all know on the hybrid edition, or I shouldn't say all know, because I know there's some people here who don't have hybrid, don't have OTP. But for you guys that do have OTP, you already know, you go to put out a 45,000 page website. Well, it takes a few hours. That's cool, though, because you're able to do in a few hours what takes other people. You couldn't even do it manually. It would take you months to put just one little 45,000 page website up. And of course, we do that at a minimum times 5 or 6 per campaign, and we put out multiple campaigns. So that's crazy, right? I mean, that's a lot of numbers, and we take that time, and it's exciting to us because we're so much faster than other people. But then came Phantom. And the way this worked out for me was I was using the exact same system that you're using, right? I release these things out as quickly as I can after I've used it myself, and I'm thinking, this rocks. This is so much better than the one before. So I'm sitting here and I'm doing just like everybody else. I'm running, maybe not like everybody else. I was running 30 remote desktop computers and running my campaigns on them so that I could get just crazy volume going through. But I couldn't, it was bothering me. Let me just say that it was bothering me that it was taking me so long to get this stuff done. And it just popped into my head. I thought, man, what I would really like Google and Bing. I would really like them to build my sites for me. That's really what would enhance things for me, because that way I could do my part real fast, and then I could just force them to do their part. So I started just trying to figure it out. I hope this doesn't offend anybody. How can I punk Google? How can I make these chumps do my heavy lifting for me? So after thinking about it a little bit and about, 300 or 400 failures, I actually came up with it. And that's what the Phantom is. Now, we're gonna show you a walkthrough in just a few minutes, and just a little heads up on what you're going to see is that I create a site of about pretty close to 250,000 pages in minutes, in just minutes. Now, right now, even on hybrid, when you do 250,000 pages, it takes a little time. It takes some hours. I'll just say 12 or 15 hours to put out 250,000 pages on hybrid. And on Phantom, You'll put out that 250,000 pages absolutely in minutes. In minutes. So if you're really aggressive and you want to put out 5 million pages a day, you could do that. If you're laid back and you're just easy going and you only want to put out 1 million pages a day, you can do that. Now, here's the most important thing that I want to say to you so that you don't lose sight of what you're really doing. Think about this. Every page, every single page that you put out is basically a buy button, right? It's giving somebody the opportunity to cause money to come into your bank account, right? So let that sink into your head for a minute. You're putting out 1 million opportunities a day for people to send you money across any niche you want, as many niches as you want. How crazy is that? Man, I love this stuff. So that's what we're about to do. Okay. Because I'm going to I pre-recorded this video just earlier this morning. It was about 3 o'clock this morning. So if my voice sounds a little weird, that's just because I didn't have my usual 3 pots of coffee in me at that point. So in just a minute, I'm gonna turn this over so that we can queue up that video and walk through it together so that you can see it, the official unveiling and stuff. But before I do, let me just cover this one little last part. As I'm creating these sites using Phantom, all of mine are like getting auto-indexed. And I jumped into my beta testers group and I said, hey, is this happening to you guys? And, someone were saying, well, yeah, I'm getting like automatic indexing where I replaced some of my hybrid stuff or blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, man, I didn't do that. What is it that I'm doing differently than my beta testers? Because, indexing is always a big deal to people. That's the second part of the equation. Part one is you put out the web pages. Part two is you get them indexed. So I started thinking to myself, what is it? I must be doing something different than they are. And then I realized I have this. Now, most of you guys know I have an extremely extensive background in video marketing. And for me, what I do just by default for indexing is I'll tend to, whatever new site that I put up, I'll comment on a video, right, on some video, and that actually ends up triggering Google to come and index whatever link that was. So I'm thinking, okay, there's a difference. And then I realized, wait a minute. I have, I am the guy that creates this stuff. So I kind of, I have tools that are in testing and stuff like that. And I realized that there's this one set of tools that I use, and it's 2 tools really, and they're domain tools. Okay, so now this is not released yet, and it's still in beta testing because I have to add on quite a bit of stuff to make it to where, normal humans can use it. So this is still in beta. So I don't want you to get to thinking that I'm fixing to hand that one to you because I can't. But anyways, it's a program that we've called Domain Resurrector. And basically what this is we're able to type in a keyword into a software program. It goes to YouTube, and it looks for any videos or any domains that are listed already in other people's videos that have expired. You follow me? So that we're able to just pick up that domain at, the regular, whatever your registrar charges you. I think it's around $10 a month. A year. So you get this domain that's already listed on multiple people's videos. You pick up the domain, and now instantly you have a domain that's already promoted, already backlinked in YouTube. So then you pick up that domain, you run OTP Phantom on it to put your site on it. Then you go to any of those people's links that had, that has a link to your new domain that you got there, that has a link to that domain in there. And you just make a comment. You don't have to mention the domain or anything. Just, hey, this is an awesome video. I'm glad you put this out. And all of a sudden, because their video changed, their video content changed, Google re-indexes their video immediately. And what happens during the process? That's right. They go through, they also will recheck that domain. And when they land on it, when Google lands on that domain, they're saying, oh, hey, there's content here. Let me gobble that up. So that was the difference. So what we have here, what you're getting today, what you're going to be handed today is the Phantom system that will just you put out as many millions of pages a day as you want. And here pretty soon, our domain resurrector will be released, and it's like indexing by default. So I think I've covered everything about it as well as I can. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hand this over to Doug because he's Big Daddy in this webinar world. So I'm going to hand this over to Big Daddy Doug, and just let him play this walkthrough, and let's get down with this. Doug, go ahead, sir. All right, let's walk through the OTP Phantom Edition, by far the most powerful software in the universe. All right, when you first open up your screen, you've got a few options here, nothing too intimidating, pretty easy to work with. We've got Run Phantom. This is the default settings screen, right? This is where you're going to do everything. You've got an action stream, which when this is running, when you set this program running, it's going to start showing you things here just to kind of keep you in the loop. You've got a tutorial screen, which you can click on anything, and it'll just give you some basic information on that. Right, and these buttons, just more support type of things. Then advanced options, where you can clone an existing project. You can inject additional content into the pages that you're going to be generating. We start out with just some basic stuff, so let's get this filled out. All right, so I filled out my basics here. I gave it a project name. I gave it some keywords. I gave it a final destination URL. In other words, this is the URL that I want people to land on, and my OTP site destination URL. This is where I'm going to be uploading to. Now, I didn't put anything on the append to front or append to the end. And what that means is you can append text to the front of all these keywords, or to the end of all these keywords, or both if you put something in there. Like I could very easily put, for example, 2018, right? And it would be free stuff 2018, free stuff Craigslist 2018, just through all of it. I don't need any of that. I'm just going to do the basics here, which is usually how I personally do my campaigns. So I've got all that in there. It's telling me that I've got, now these are just basically long-tail keywords, right? We use these as titles. And I click the calc button, and I've got 482 titles, which means if I was to double these titles, in other words, make every possible combination of these titles using two titles as the page title, that would give me over 232,000 possible combinations, 232,000 pages available that I would be able to create out of this. So now I've got a few more options. I've got set overlay color. The way the Phantom works is when a person clicks on a link in the search engine, it goes to your page, and then an overlay is displayed there showing whatever you want. So what I'm going to do is I've got several options here. I'm going to click, I'm going to go over to browser safe, and I'm going to tell it that I want my pop-up to be this color. Tell it OK. Now clickbait image. All right, let's walk through the OTP Phantom Edition. By far the most powerful software in the universe. All right, when you first open up your screen, you've got a few options here. Nothing too intimidating. Pretty easy to work with. We've got Run Phantom. This is the default settings screen, right? This is where you're going to do everything. You've got an action stream, which when this is running, when you set this program running, it's going to start showing you things here just to kind of keep you in the loop. You've got a tutorial screen, which you can click on anything and it'll just give you some basic information on that. Right, and then these buttons, just more support type of things. Then advanced options, to where you can clone an existing project, or you can inject additional content into the pages that you're going to be generating. We start out with just some basic stuff, so let's get this filled out. All right, so I've filled out my basics here. I gave it a project name. I gave it some keywords. I gave it a final destination URL. In other words, this is the URL that I want people to land on, and my OTP site destination URL. This is where I'm going to be uploading to. Now, I didn't put anything on the append to front or append to the end, and what that means is you can append text to the front of all these keywords or to the end of all these keywords, or both if you put something in there. Like I could very easily put, for example, 2018, right? And it would be Free Stuff 2018, Free Stuff Craigslist 2018, you know, just through all of it. I don't need any of that. I'm just going to do the basics here, which is usually how I personally do my campaigns. So I've got all that in there. It's telling me that I've got, now these are just basically long tail keywords, right? We use these as titles. And I click the calc button and I've got 482 titles, which means if I was to double these titles, in other words, make every possible combination of these titles using two titles as the page title, that would give me over 232,000 possible combinations, 232,000 pages available that I would be able to create out of this. So now I've got a few more options. I've got set overlay color. The way the Phantom works is when a person clicks on a link in the search engine, it goes to your page, and then an overlay is displayed there showing whatever you want. So what I'm going to do is I've got several options here. I'm going to click, I'm going to go over to browser safe, and I'm going to tell it that I want my pop-up to be this color. Tell it OK. Now clickbait image. This is the image that's actually on your overlay, right? This is what you're using to get people to click to go on to end up on your offer page. This is an SEO tactic that's that Google does like, Bing likes, everybody likes it. It's acceptable and usable. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Let me get this over for you. I always put a default in, and this is the default that I use, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. You'll have access to the exact same image I use, but of course you can use your own custom image that you want. And then there's a translate project. All right, well, I'm not going to translate anything. I'm just going to leave this as English, but you can translate it into any language. And when you do that, when you click this button, Basically, it's going to give you a little prompt, let you know what's going on. It's going to open up Google translation page just so that you can translate these keywords that you're using, and you can translate your titles. So you would just paste them into the form, translate them, paste them back into here to replace the ones in, the language that you chose. Single and double. Single means if I use single, it's only going to create 482 pages. If I use double, it's going to sit there and create 232,000 plus pages. Use existing content. This is a pretty massive time saver when you're making campaigns that are extremely similar to each other, to where you feel like it's safe to use the same content, because it's not going to be, the pages won't be the same, but you'll be pulling from the same content pool. Now we'll go over that in an actual in-depth tutorial. This is just a walkthrough. And we have options on what type of site we want to build. HTML site, HTML site, ASP site, or PHP site. We're just going to leave it on the default, which is HTML. So I'm going to go ahead, now that I've created my campaign, I'm going to save it. So we're good there. Now, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and load this project again, just to make sure that I didn't lose any information anywhere along the way. So now this is created. Now we could click this View Projects, and it's going to show us the project that we've got. Now right now inside here is just some basic information. This is basically all of your campaign information. And this folder, it's empty right now, but this is what's going to hold everything that you upload to get your site active. So let's go ahead and start the software. Now, 482 titles, that shouldn't take long. So let's go ahead and start it. When you start it, this goes on. And I obviously had selected the Use Existing Content file. Now we can come over here and look in our action stream, and it's telling us what's going on. Right now it's collecting content. It did our title work fast, since we're only creating 482 pages. So on this particular run, your longest time that it's going to take is just generating the content. In other words, pulling the content that all the search engines have already said, I love this particular content for this particular keyword, because we're going for that. When we start using these long tail titles in conjunction with a mixture of this content, we are going to be giving the search engines absolutely everything that they've already told us that they know and love. So we'll just wait this out for a few minutes. This will stop whenever the program has completed. Okay, so it went ahead, it finished our process, and it gave us an alert to let us know, so we're going to tell it okay. We're able here, we'll look in this stream and see how long everything took to achieve. The content process took 3 minutes and 19 seconds. And that's about all that took any time on this, such a small campaign. So now let's come over. We're going to click the View Projects. Here's our offer. Here's some base pages it made. Now this is just some stuff the system is using for itself, and a README file that you do need to read. And then inside this folder, all of these files are created. So let's go ahead. Now I've got this domain that I chose for this, easydayware.com. I just dumped all the old stuff because I don't even remember what I was using it for into that. So if you had a new domain, you would just go in here to your public HTML file folder, because if you recall, where is my software? If you recall, this is where we said we're going to put it. So because we didn't put any subdirectories here, that means that this campaign, this project, was designed to go into the public HTML folder. So let me scooch this out of the way a little bit and get to our files. And I'm just going to take all of these files and drag them right over into my domain. Okay, so now we've got all those files there. Let's jump over, and this was my Easy Daywear site. This is where I just uploaded all of this stuff that we've got here. Let me get this out of the way. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to refresh this page, and there you go. Now see, we have all this content, and we've got, this is my clickbait image that I use. I use it because people just really don't hesitate to jump on to click on the "I'm not a robot" thing. And the moment they click on it, bam, it takes them right to this page, my final destination URL. So from an SEO perspective, I'm getting site engagement, which all the search engines love to see when you get site engagement. So let's get this back open again. Just come back. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to a sitemap here. Now we've got several sitemaps in there. All of that stuff will be covered in more advanced tutorials. But as you can see here, we've got several hundred pages. They're linked here, and let's try that one. Yeah, pops up just like it's supposed to. Okay, see there that we just clicked a few links. Let's pop back over and let's jump back into our FTP screen here. I'm just using WinSCP as an FTP screen. This is all the files we uploaded, right? Let's refresh this. What? Where are these new pages coming from? That's right. We are causing humans and web spiders to create our site on the fly for us. So once it's created, once somebody clicks a link in our sitemap, or we post some random link in a forum or in a video or anything else, or a web spider, a search engine spider, comes and they go through any of these links, it creates that for us. It creates that page. Now it's there, and it's pretty much unlimited size. So there you go. Took us just a couple of minutes really to go through and create ourselves a page. We can do the same thing with a much larger page. In fact, I'm going to go ahead, loaded this project. This time I'm going to tell it that I want to go double and that I want to use existing content. I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to select the content that I want to use, which was from this other project we just did, the little small project, because hey, it's fine for me to use the same content. And this one, I'm going to tell it I'm going to put in my website under a directory of free. So I'm going to save it again. Now, if you can't tell, I like saving and reloading the project every time I do a save, right? It just makes sense to me. So I'll leave everything else the same. I'm going to go ahead, let this thing get started. And now we'll just sit here, wait this out, let it do its thing. It's not going to take very long at all. Now, as you can guess, when you're doing a massive campaign, and let's face it, this is massive, we're creating a website that has over 250,000 pages on it. Okay, so the longest process we're going to have in a run like this is your title work. Okay, it finished up for us. Let's pop over here and see how long it took. Took a little over 6.5 minutes to do our title work, and a few seconds to do our sitemap builds. And we used our existing content, so we didn't spend any time there. So yeah, just took us a few minutes. Let's view the projects. This one's going to be a little bit different. Now let's look at the one we just now created and uploaded. Got these files right. Well, this set is going to be a little bit different. This is the one we just built. Let's go into our uploads here. You're seeing all of this extra stuff. Well, these are sitemaps. These are all extra sitemaps, and that helps break it down so that all the search engines will accept them, because the search engine will not accept anything with more than like 50,000 links in it. So the software went ahead and broke all that down to make it search engine friendly for you. So let's go ahead. I want to get this uploaded, because think about it. In just these few minutes, we created a website with over 250,000 pages in a few minutes. So let's get up here. Now, if you recall, in the software itself, we told it we was going to put this in a directory called free. All right. So I better build that directory. So I'm just going to go new directory free. And there it is. Now I'm going to paste all of that stuff that I just copied that it gave me in my upload folder. Remember, I tell it where I'm going to upload it, then it creates an upload folder. You don't upload the upload folder, you upload the contents of the upload folder. Well, that was a mouthful. And there it is, all uploaded. And now I've got a website of over 250,000 pages. So let me go here. And there we go. On my content, every page has got unique content. Every one, if I click it, it's going to go to my it's going to go to my money page that I told it to go to. And I'm just going to go to one of my sitemaps. And now you're seeing, oh, well, it doesn't have all those 250,000 pages, whatever, right? Well, no, because it broke the sitemaps down. And so now when a search engine comes, it's seeing, okay, well, we have multiple sitemaps to deal with. We're telling it what to expect. And then go to a sitemap, and there you go. We've got about 50,000 pages in here. And again, just like before, as search engine bots, spiders, people, whoever, whatever, whenever, and wherever they click anything or visit one of your pages, it creates those pages right on the fly. So you're allowing the search engines and visitors to do all the work for you. And the beautiful thing is, you always know how many of your pages are indexed, because they won't exist here until they've been clicked, until they've been visited or indexed by a search engine. So there you go. That's how simple this is. I know I drew it out a long time. There's plenty more to learn. I just showed you the way that I do campaigns. I tend to keep everything just super basic and simple, but there are extra power features that you can use, like in the advanced options and stuff. But like I said, we'll have other tutorials that will go a lot more in depth into all that sort of thing. I just wanted to show you how I use it and really how simple and fast it is. The only thing that I can add is that no matter what, it doesn't matter how beastly of a home computer you have, your home computer is not going to be able to do this as fast as a Locusware remote, right? You put this software on a Locusware remote desktop, and it's going to move at blazing speeds. You do it on your own PC, it's going to be slower. You do it on some random VPS somewhere, it's going to be slower. This was designed specifically for our Locusware remote desktop computers. So because of that, you know, obviously it's going to be a lot faster on those. But that's it. You can still run it right from your PC if you choose to. It's just going to take you a little longer. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this and start to see the excitement there of why I'm talking about, oh, you can build 1 million pages in a day. Yes, you can. You can build 1 million pages most likely while you're on your lunch break or something, you know. So there you go.
So what does everybody think of all that? Hopefully the rest of the mods remember to turn their microphones on and come and join us in the group.
I just did.
I think everybody thought this was something a little special.
So we will answer some questions here if people would like that, and we're probably going to do an encore presentation tomorrow night. It won't be with Cliff, but it will be. We'll give you a chance to watch the tutorial video again. Look through the guide which we have had made by our beta team, and they put together a quick little guide. Nath was in charge of that, and between the two, you should be pretty familiar with the general workings of the software. And then we're going to be putting out some advanced tutorials along the way. The domain software that Cliff alluded to, there's actually going to be two of them coming fairly fast that are in the advanced stages of beta testing. And then there's one coming along behind that will be just as cool. So we got a lot of very, very cool stuff coming. Not only the ability to build a lot of pages, but help with the indexing along in various manners. And somebody's asking, for example, how much disk space is used per site. Well, initially, it's going to be very, very small. As you saw, the number of, the amount of files that you're uploading, probably in the kilobytes versus in previous versions of hybrid, your initial campaigns were taken up as much as, say, half a gigabyte or 500 megabytes. Well, in case you don't remember, 1,000 kilobytes in a megabyte and 1,000 megabytes in a gigabyte and 1,000 gigabytes in a terabyte, right? So just a very small fraction initially. Now, as the pages get crawled and indexed, it's going to grow. However, it'll never be the size of one of your campaigns. What a lot of people didn't realize is that in hybrid, a lot of your pages really didn't do much. But you didn't know which ones were and which ones weren't gonna index and therefore get ranked. But now you can look and see how many have indexed. Basically, it'll tell you how many have been crawled by the search engines by just looking in the campaign, and how many pages are built is about how many there are indexed, unless you sit and click them all day. And most of us don't have time for that. And let's see, is there anything else good coming that you should be aware of? Mainly just a couple more domain tools, and the other thing that I will be doing is passing out the link to get a link, which means that all the people in here get first chance to be selling this, and we're not doing any hard launch for a bit. Right now, the only people that get to sell it are the people that are in it. When will it be released? Geez. Yes, you want to do Phantom now. If you have the choice between doing Phantom and doing hybrid, I really can't think of too many reasons why you'd want to do hybrid. Because let's see, hybrid takes maybe up to 12 hours to do a 45,000 page campaign, and Phantom does 3 or 4 times that in about 10 minutes. Yes, Phantom is included in all subscriptions. However, proviso, if you really want the speed, you're going to want to buy the subscription that has at least one Locustware VPS, because it's going to be much faster in building than doing it on your computer.
Got one person asking about the likelihood these sites will be de-indexed within the next 6 to 9 months. I can say that many of us have sites up that have been up for 9 months now, and they're still there. None have been de-indexed. But there is the possibility that it can. So not to worry, the strategy of Organic Traffic Platform is to build 10 or more sites, all pointing at one target URL. So if you have 10 sites and then de-index one, you still have 90% of your traffic network still operational. And as you can see with Phantom, 15 minutes later, you've got another site built. So it's not really too much of a worry if you do get de-indexed.
Okay. Somebody asked, well, if we use our own computer for Phantom, will it still be faster than hybrid? The answer is yes, by quite some bit. However, to get the optimum speed, you want to be on our VPSs, which were optimized to build this software. So, it's a matter of, you want to take 2 or 3 hours, or do you want it to be done in 10 minutes? There was some other questions. Somebody asked, I think it was Robert Gage asked if the pages could be added from Phantom could be added to an existing OTP hybrid website. And the answer is sure they can. And that's probably some of what we'll be covering in our more advanced tutorials, okay? Oh, somebody's asking Kimmy, geez, I don't have a link to get back signed back up. Do you think you could help them with that, Kim? There you go. And one thing that I took care of already was yesterday I went and talked to our friend at Ho6 who runs the company, and told him that we might be having some people interested in some more hosting of some sort. And he said, well, why don't I do a sale? And I said, wonderful idea. I'm glad you thought of that. So I would say by tomorrow, or maybe even tonight, I will have a link to his sale prices, okay? Keep getting asked, boy, has it been released yet?
I think they're kind of anxious, Rod. I'm not sure.
I can't imagine why. If it was me, I would start by going back and watching that tutorial once more, and then I would access the guide, which we can also give them a link to, and make sure I start, kind of looking things over and make sure I have a good handle on how to run it, and then hang loose for just a little bit, and you just may have your wishes granted. I'll see if I can consult that there genie that makes, I'll rub my lamp and see if I can make that genie disappear, or genie appear, I should say.
Paul has a question saying that he's curious on what is the benefit of all those pages. Well, Paul, if you've been following Organic Traffic Platform at all and the strategy that we're employing, the whole concept is to take all our keywords basically and create titles out of them, and then to have relevant content for each of those titles as well. So by randomizing the building of all these articles and pages, it allows us to do things a lot quicker and more efficiently. And then hopefully out of that randomization, we hit some of the pages that will be driving the traffic towards our sites. And that is exactly what happens is by having so many combinations of titles and articles, we generate the traffic that we want. Trying to look through the rest of the questions here. Cliff says hybrid equals toy car. Phantom, real live hot rod.
Somebody asked how many Phantom sites could be safely built on your remote computers? Well, as many as you can spit out. In other words, you could build, you saw Cliff build a 250,000 page site in about 10 minutes. So how fast can you build them? There's no limit on our BPS. Obviously, you'll have to start moving the sites off as you run out of disk space, or moving the campaigns off as you start to run out of disk space. But man, they don't take up much space in the campaign folder now. And so I would say, I don't know, a couple hundred, and then you might have to start to move. But that really shouldn't be an issue. The more limiting factor will be how much hosting disk space do you have. And you can always go back and upgrade your Hostixi accounts as you're going to probably start to want to keep an eye on disk space on your hosting as you go along and continue to build campaigns and add them on. And at some point, you might have to get another account and start filling that one up. But hopefully you'll start to see some traffic to your offers, and then you'll be excited about upgrading for disk space.
We've had a few questions about how do you monetize it, and are we going to be going over that? And the OTP sites are strictly for gathering traffic to send to a money site that you have. Or if you want to send it to a video or a book you're selling, but it is to gather traffic to redirect to your target URL.
Marty already has some advanced tactics using Phantom in his course, and we'll be coming when I talked about we'll be coming with some more advanced tutorials. That's the kind of things that will be covered in the more advanced tutorials, is tactics, strategy, etc. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is learn to use the tool, and then, as you know, or you may not know, we've been doing webinars every week talking about how do I choose a niche, how do I evaluate that niche to find out if it's going to be profitable, and those kinds of things. So when you join, we'd be happy to give you a link to all the previous webinars, and you can see the strategy is going to basically remain the same as far as how do I make money using the tool. Okay, Dave asked, could you go over some simple money-making tactics that a relative newbie could apply with this software? Well, let's see. I go find an affiliate program or an affiliate product. Maybe I go to muncheye.com and I find that, here's one that's launching in a week or two, and I go get an affiliate link for that. I then place that in my OTP Phantom, build out a whole bunch of pages, and see what happens. There's just one. There's hundreds of different strategies. You could use this to drive traffic to lead building site or lead generation sites. You can use it to help a local business get more traffic. You can use it for, well, help me out, guys. Give me some more examples.
What can't you use it for might be an easier response.
Yes.
If you need traffic to go somewhere, you can generate it with the organic traffic platform strategy.
Right.
It's just a matter of deciding where you want to point that traffic and then having some way to convert it by collecting an email, selling a product, showing or giving away a free report, watching a video.
Right. You could send traffic to your videos, get more people watching. You could send people to using, we've got a couple of guys that like to use it to increase their Amazon traffic to their Amazon sites. There's, basically it's a wide open field as to how you could make money using this product. However, I always do the disclaimers that there's no guarantees that you make money, because we don't know what you're sending it to. And we don't know. There's just too many variables for us to ever guarantee that you make money. Now, I don't think there's a program out there that can legitimately guarantee that you make money when you do it, because there's just too many variables. We don't know what you're going to do. We don't know how hard you're going to work. We don't know if you send people all to a crap offer, chances are the crap offer isn't going to convert. So
you have people asking about other costs associated in the software itself.
None. There
would be costs included for their domains and hosting.
Right. That's the only thing I was gonna. When I said none, I meant there's no up. Once you're in Locustware, we aren't the type to sit and upcharge you for this and upcharge you for that. Marty does have a course on advanced tactics and strategies that is usually reasonably priced. If you haven't picked that up already, by reasonably, I mean like $27. There is going to be costs incurred for hosting and domains. You'll need some, and we even provide a recommended place with a significant discount on the hosting, and we'll give you our links to NameSilo and Namecheap, where you can buy domains relatively cheap. Typically, like NameSilo, sometimes it'll be $6 a domain. We do recommend .com domains, probably highest. And again, watching some of our previous webinars will cover a lot of these types of questions. And you also have us available in support. And in the Discord room, we get these kinds of questions all the time. So get in, become a member, and you'll see some amazing resources available to you. We're also working on a learning center that includes all kinds of information on various types of marketing, everything from local marketing to video marketing to you name it. We're working on that, and that'll be available in the next month or so, I would guess. Would have to ask Randy for more specifics. But we've got the team working on advanced tutorials. We've got the team there every day. We're here 7 days a week. I won't say 24 hours a day, because we do need sleep, but typically 14 hours a day at least we got covered, maybe even closer to 16. And we're here every day for you. I think we'll probably take Thanksgiving and Christmas off, or at least Christmas. Thanksgiving, Dougie will be here because he's in Canada, and he's got a different Thanksgiving than we do. Any other questions?
Lots of questions coming in. Where do I sign up for Phantom? Kim, you want to throw that link again in the group? Can we use the VPS for other uses? Yes, you can. You can use it for whatever purpose you would like, as long as it's not doing anything illegal, immoral, or fattening.
Okay, I'm grabbing that link. Hold on a sec.
How can I set it up on a remote? Well, if you've got the Locustware remote, the software will already be installed for you when you get it. Typically, what happens when you join Locustware, you're not just getting OTP or a flavor of OTP. You're getting everything. So what you get supplied with is our Locustware control panel, which allows you to access all the installation files for all the other software. So if you want to use Phantom, then when it's in the new Locustware control platform or panel, when the new version's released, you just go there, click on it, and it downloads the installation files to your computer. Then you can install it. Same with any of the other software. So do remember, it's a get everything proposition here. It's not just one thing at a time. Phantom also does multilingual. Yes, Sam, if you saw the video Cliff was showing, there was a translation section there. And basically what we're getting people to do now is to click the button. It immediately takes you in your browser to Google Translate. You copy and paste your titles in there and hit whatever language you want and then copy and paste it back. We had it automated in the previous versions, but it is much more, it's much quicker to actually just do the cut and paste right in Google Translate. And we're using the Google Translation tool, which is what they understand best anyhow.
Well, my only question to you would be, what are you still doing here? If you were to go to your Locustware control panel and download the latest version, I think you're going to see a little surprise in there. Doug, you want to show them how to find that surprise?
Certainly. Let me switch over here. Okay, so sorry about that, folks. Okay, where are you? All right, so I've just gone to my machine and started up the Locustware control panel, and it's already sent me to go download the new copy. So when I do that, I download it to my downloads folder. Within a few seconds, look at that, we have the new version. I click run. There we go. New version's installed. Now we'll just wait for it to start up, and we'll hope that all our new goodies are there. Okay. Lawrence is asking if we have an access link to join as a Locustware affiliate. Please go back into Discord and contact Rod, and he will get you squared away with that. And for those of you who are not familiar with our Discord group, that's where we find out all the latest of goings on. It's a very active discussion group on strategies and everything else for OTP and any other software that we have. So if you haven't joined it, I'm just going to throw that link into the group. Please come join us in Discord and find out more about it. If you're all looking at my computer now, you'll notice this top one here. OTP Phantom. So it's now in the new LocustWare control panel. I presume that means we won't be hearing from most of you for a little while, but please go upgrade your control panel and start to play around. How do we get the link for the new LocustWare control panel? Aaron, if you are already a member, you already have the LocustWare control panel. Just start it up and it will update itself. Just as I showed you on my computer here. Link for the guide. Do we have a link for the guide, or is it going to be linked to from the software? I haven't seen that yet.
It will be inside the software. When you click on the tutorials link, it should be uploaded and obvious to you in the tutorials link.
Okay, if yours didn't upgrade yet, close it down, wait for a few minutes and try it again. All right.
No, there is no WordPress plugin. In fact, you don't even need to install WordPress anymore.
Completely WordPress free, so that part of the process is eliminated as well, which makes it even faster getting things done.
Okay, with the registration of the software, remember you need your license number, which comes when you buy into LocustWare. You get a master key license that we send out in your welcoming letter. And you'll need that license number. It generally starts with LOC 46 and a bunch of other numbers and letters.
LOC 25.
Oh, LOC 25 and a bunch of other numbers and letters. Sorry. Thank you.
How is it that we don't need WordPress? Well, WordPress never existed before the HTML site, so I guess it kind of, HTML sites are kind of a little longer in the tooth than WordPress ever has been. WordPress is not the only thing out there, and it's slow, especially on large sites. And so that makes it disadvantageous today, while speed is becoming more and more of an issue for the search engines.
I keep getting questions in the Discord already about, do you have a link yet to sell the thing? And the answer is not yet, but I will in the next day or so. The same with the link to the sale price for the hosting. I will have both of those by this evening sometime, I expect. So please don't keep asking me for a link I don't yet have. What about SSL HTTPS? Remember that this site is merely a traffic generator. You're not conducting any kind of transactions on the site, so you don't really need to worry about it. But if you wanted to, you could. But I recommend worrying about SSL after I've got it populated with content, because doing it the other way around seems kind of cart before the horse.
How do we load pages? Well, my goodness, Cliff showed you that. It only took him about 3 or 4 seconds, and he uploaded all the pages from his machine up to his website. So if you need to know that, you might want to watch the replay.
And we'll be available for questions in the Discord group as well, but just don't bombard us. Watch the thing a couple of times, look through the guide a couple of times, and then come with questions. And we'll probably compile a list of frequently asked questions, and if they're on the list of ones that have just been asked and answered, then we'll direct you to a place in the forum where you can find the list of frequently asked questions. How's that sound?
Okay, looks like we've pretty well answered all the questions.
And support type questions you can ask us over in the Discord room.
Jessica's asking what's the difference between desktop and remote versions. There's no difference in the software. The software is the same. It just runs faster on the remote desktop version.
Rod, Kim, Doug, everybody else that showed up, you guys rock. But this feed is just moving so fast, I can't keep up with it. So I'm out of here. I'm going to go hang out in the Discord group for a while and see what happens there. So I'll catch you guys later.
Thanks, Cliff.
Thanks, Cliff. Okay, guys. Again, once more, I'm going to post in the group a link to join our Discord group. We're going to shut her down for now, and I'll head over there. So if you've got any further questions, please come and join us. And let's get building some big websites. Thanks again, folks.
Have a great night. Thanks for showing up.